Hi, my name is Michelle Wise, and we started seeing Dr. Brooks probably about 2 months after my initial concern about my son. He was screaming at night, and he sounded like he was in pain, and I know the difference in his cries. That was definitely a pain cry. And I took him to our pediatrician, and he told us that he was fine. He checked out okay, that maybe he's just having night terrors, and that wasn't acceptable to me. So as time kind of went on and it didn't stop, I went from thinking, okay, maybe it's teething, maybe he is having night terrors, to then starting to really have a concern. And that's when I started doing all the research online and thinking I have to take him to somebody that knows what's going on with him. And so I started researching DAN doctors, and that's where I found Dr. Brooks, a Defeat Autism Now doctor. Even though Riven is not diagnosed with autism, he does exude many symptoms of autism. And after doing the research, I found out that this isn't just, a rare occurrence. This is happening to kids all over the world. Same exact stories, literally. I mean, it's really surprising. I was a little bit hesitant because, you're never sure if someone's gonna be selling you magic beans, or, if there really is hope for recovery and help for him. But there is, because, he's living proof of her work and that her work works. Actually, he used to wave hello and goodbye to us, and if one of us would walk into the room, he would immediately react and look at who was coming into the room. He stopped doing that at a certain point completely, and to this day he still doesn't wave. He's getting there. He did it once, but he's getting there. But once he stopped doing those things, in my mind, I thought, if he lost that, is he ever going to regain that? And that was definitely a big fear of mine, was that, he wouldn't be able to have that connection with his own parents. It's like he looked through us, not at us. And so I never thought that he would be able to do what he does now. He's learning new words, probably like 3 a week at this point. He has blossomed from how he used to be. Not only words, he's also just that wanting to be around us. Before, it's like he was in his own little world, and so if he was playing with a toy and we came to play with him, he wouldn't care, he wouldn't react. And now, just yesterday, I bought him one of those little magnetic doodle boards, and he brought it over to where I was sitting, and then he started coloring, and he would have a few moments where he would stop and look up to see if I was watching him, and I had never experienced that from him previously. So just those little details that just mean everything to you when your kid looks up at you. I'm getting a little emotional, sorry, but it means a lot, because it's really that connection alone it's worth everything. All the money in the world, it's priceless. So all that stress just be lifted, because it's no longer on me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that I can trust Dr. Brooks. All that weight that I carried is now handed off to her, I feel like, in a way. And it feels amazing to know that she has got this handled. It doesn't, in my mind, even if new things came up, new struggles for him, she would be able to figure it out and tackle it. I have no doubt in my mind that she'd be able to figure out what the root cause is and treat it. I would advise anybody out there who is considering, taking a biomedical approach to not just autism, like any delays or any issues that your kid is having, just to really stop the worry, which I know is hard to do. It's so much easier said than done, but it's not as scary as it initially is. When I first started, doing the research, that's probably like your most terrifying moment, is when you're first initially doing the research, because you think, oh my gosh, my kid, like what is wrong with him? He's not doing what all these other kids are doing, not on the same pace. And then it all kind of crashes down on you. I mean, for us, it was the label of autism itself was the scariest thing to me, because I didn't know much about it. If you're looking for somebody to talk to, there are tons of parents out there who are going through the exact same thing that you are. And there's also doctors like Dr. Brooks, who is here to not only hold your hand through it, but really kind of be the person, like I said previously, who holds all the weight. She'll take it all from you, and she'll take care of it. And it's not as overwhelming as it seems, because with Riven, for instance, he has so many GI issues, and he has some sensory issues, and it just seems like all these therapies are really overwhelming. And when will the therapies stop? But they will stop. They will, and they're 100% worth it. Everything, not just and I would say not just seeing Dr. Brooks, but with her work and the way that she approaches things just enhances all the other therapies that you get. So even if you've covered the basis with all the therapies, like Riven, for instance, he has OT therapy, speech therapy, and then specialized skills training. He's doing all three of those once a week. If he was just doing those, we would see improvement, definitely, but it would be at a much slower pace, and we wouldn't get that clarity that we get through treating, his issues biomedically. So it's very important to actually run the tests and see in front of you exactly what's going on the inside, because you can only do so much blindly.